Hey everyone, this is Cody.
And Sean.
This is a place to hear about the paranormal, the supernatural, and everything in between.
Hi everyone, this is the new reality. Just wanted to tell everybody happy Friday. We're excited about that. Mr. Cody and myself finally got the same days off, Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So
Thank God it's Friday. Let me
holy
tell
cow,
you.
right? We definitely work hard during the week, so this is really our balance, if you will, to be able to do these podcasts and do paranormal stuff. So it's a pleasure to share our stories with everyone, and can't say enough about how excited I am to be able to do this. It's just fun, great time. What do you think, Cody?
No, it's fantastic. Like we stated before, it's our passion. We love doing this stuff. We actually just got the opportunity to do 2 private investigations within the span of like 2 weeks.
Yeah, all right.
And that was amazing. We're kind of going to take a minute to talk about that. So as you guys most know, Sean and I live in Southern California, and we got the opportunity to investigate my dad's work. Believe it or not.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, so he works. He's a maintenance guy, and he works in a old warehouse. I guess it's been standing since like the 1900s or something like that. And just a little quick recap of what he was telling me. He said he was in the building one day and he heard a little girl scream out of nowhere. He said maybe like a child, like 9-10 years old, like a high pitched scream, like bloody murder. Freaked him out. He ran outside the building. He knows I'm into this stuff, so he's like, "Hey, Cody, you gotta come check this place out." And I was like, "Yeah, it's cool." And then we kind of put it off for a while, right?
We did, yeah. I think he mentioned it, I want to say 3-4 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
I just think we didn't get a chance to do it. But
Right, and finally,
we didn't take him seriously.
yeah, exactly. Well, finally, everything kind of aligned, and Sean and I are like, "Well, let's go investigate it." So we got our equipment ready and went over there, and it was crazy, right?
Yes, I gotta say again. I try to get an impression of the location before we get there, and there was a lot of weird things that came in. I did meet up with the girl. I didn't know about the girl, but I did notice there was a younger girl there. We did get evidence that there was a younger girl there as well. She was answering to some of our questions through the K2, and we caught all kinds of stuff. But yeah, and I also got an impression of a holy person. It was in period outfit. He had the round top hat, not top hat, but a rounded hat. It looked like an old Western minister or priest.
Well, what's crazy is we even got the ghost box to say,
Right.
or not ghost box, the Ovilus to say Reverend.
Reverend,
right?
yeah. So, again, like I was picking up on that, and I didn't feel like the Reverend was from the building. I felt that the Reverend was from the location, the land location. And I didn't necessarily think Ground Zero was the building. I wanted to say within a quarter-mile radius, not even that, this Reverend was there. And I felt like he took ownership of that area. What I kept seeing was the Reverend turning into this cowboy in all black, and his intentions weren't good. So yeah, him responding with the Ovilus Reverend, it was just confirming, which was great, confirmed what I was
Right.
feeling. So that was kind of interesting. But
No, yeah, there was definitely a lot of cold spots throughout the building when it was hot. This was summertime, and you know how warehouses get super hot. But a lot of cold spots. We did catch pretty cool orbs in that one building.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the orbs, basically, there was a couple. Yeah, it was upstairs where we felt the little girl was there.
Right.
So we got definitely K2 hits, phenomenon, like the orb phenomenon, where I think I had the millimeter in my hand, and this light appeared, and it just went down into the millimeter and then disappeared. Then the room next door, again, I made a comment walking in that room. I was like, holy cow, it's like walking through a wall. And you followed up and said, yeah, I feel that. So we started asking questions, but we caught on camera that this orb was coming around, went up to close to my chest, went down my arm, around and into my millimeter and out the back of the millimeter, and then back behind some desks. But
Right.
definitely you could tell it was something that was just observing what was going on. And which was really neat. But again, we also got, I think, Kate, we got some, what was it, digital recording?
Yeah, we got some digital recording. I'll definitely have to go through
EVPs.
some more evidence on it, because there was a lot of chatter throughout the recordings, and it seemed like they would talk under us when we were talking.
Right.
So it's really hard to kind of differentiate what was going on.
Well, they had a holding cell. I want to talk about that, the other side of the warehouse.
The holding cell.
Yeah, so
Right.
I did feel uncomfortable when we were in the back corner. Like, I kept feeling like I wanted to stop there, but when you left, remember you captured something.
That's
so
right. I forgot.
Yeah,
So Sean was in the back corner, doing his own thing, because he likes to, be weird and hang out by himself.
Yeah.
And
I'm a little weird
so,
like that. Hey, get away from me.
So I was starting to walk towards Sean, and I had my earphones in. I was listening to my recorder, and I wear Nikes, so you can't hear when I'm walking, right? And all of a sudden, I hear like heels behind me.
Yeah, like hard
heels, like walking fast, right behind me. And I'm like, dude, I just heard footsteps. Did you hear that? And I thought it was Sean.
And what was really surprising about all that is Cody didn't run. I'm just kidding. We would never run, but
Like some people on TV. We won't go there. Anyway, no, yeah. So it's pretty cool. We're actually going to be releasing that pretty soon on our Instagram, so you guys should check that out.
Yeah.
But that was actually one of the most prominent footsteps that I've caught.
Yeah.
That was not like, usually we'd set the recorder down and we hear footsteps coming up, but actually to hear it right behind you is pretty hair raising.
Yeah, you could tell it was very clear. Like I said, like hard heels. Yeah, walking up, it almost sounded like it was walking past you. Like maybe it was a guard or something. Because wasn't that a holding cell for inmates?
The holding cell, yeah, it was for. So back in the day, it was just one little chain link cell, and that's where they would house prisoners to get transferred to the actual prison. So it's pretty neat.
Did you ever get your handcuffs you accidentally left?
I did. So Sean's talking about, so obviously I'm in law enforcement, and I brought my handcuffs as like a trigger object, and I cuffed it on the chain link fence, and I completely forgot about those. And
the keys, right?
yeah, I forgot my keys, and it was kind of awkward going back the next day and picking those up.
Well, actually, we pretty much did what you would call in the slopes a yard sale. We left a lot of our
we
equipment
forgot
there.
A lot of stuff.
But I think the reason being is that we're so much going on that we walked out of there drained.
Yeah.
There was, we had a motion sensor light in the middle of the warehouse. And again, there was some phenomenon going on in that area. But I was sitting in there, and all of a sudden, the motion light, a couple rows over, turns on by itself, and none of us were by it. And I think right after that is when you got Reverend on the obelisk.
Yeah.
And then as we decided that area was going to be the hot spot towards the end of the night, we did, like both Cody and I both saw at the same time, this quick like flash, kind of like the flash we talked about when we were at Boron, but it was like we had our eyes open. Unfortunately, Cody was looking that way but didn't have the camera up, so we didn't catch it on camera, but we both reacted at the same time to it.
Which you hear on camera too. That was a bummer we didn't get that.
Yeah.
I thought for sure I was filming that way, but I was pointing down at the floor for some reason.
Yeah. And going back to what I had said earlier, on the other side of the building, I didn't feel comfortable in the corner there, which basically the walls right there on the other side was where we saw the flash of light. So it seemed like that area, there was definitely a different kind of feel, a different like intensity and energy in that area.
There was just a lot of stuff, unexplained stuff there, right? We heard a lot of noises we couldn't. And again, it's a big warehouse, so Sean and I don't automatically say, oh my God, it's paranormal. So we try and debunk a lot of things, but a lot of stuff we couldn't really pinpoint what was going on.
We were having equipment issues left and right too.
Yeah.
Like our cameras weren't working properly.
Our
and
camera died, remember?
Yeah, it just didn't work. And
Yeah.
What else? There was something else. Wasn't there like our K2 or one of our other meters weren't?
The millimeter.
The millimeter just stopped working. Was it a dead battery? But we had just replaced the batteries in it.
And for those of you who don't know, basically the theory is that spirits and ghosts, they like to draw energy, so they will suck your equipment dry and you dry. To try and manifest or try and show themselves.
Yeah, with that being said, a lot of times, Cody and I, we do these investigations and we're wide open, right? We're energizing and we're allowing to just generate the area to help with phenomenon. We don't intentionally do it because, we don't want to be drained, but this work does take a high level of energy. We've talked about this in the past with with the sensitives, there's a level of adjusting our energy to meet whatever, the energy we're trying to communicate with halfway.
Right.
We're solid, so we're mass, and we're low vibration, and energy, the spirits, are high vibration. So there's a lot of just, by the time we're done with an investigation, recovery's 1 to 2 days long. And sometimes, depending on how much activity we get, it could take 4 days just to recover from something like that.
Well, speaking of that low vibration, we just, we came in contact with a voodoo doll, right?
Yeah. Which is lame. So, yeah, the other private case we were going to bring up, right? A friend of yours.
So, yeah, a really close buddy of mine was having some issues at his house. I won't go into detail, but basically he was depressed and he didn't know what was going on. He woke up with 3 scratches. He hears knocks in the middle of the night and wakes up at 3 a.m. every night. Now, a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's demonic, right? Oh my God.
Right.
So Sean and I, we go in there and we try and figure out what exactly is going on or what he's been dealing with.
Well, he did. You said he had some articles, and Cody reached out to me. I was at work, but as soon as I got the vibe I got from it was like, yeah, I don't know what he's got there, but he needs to get rid of it. He had some collecting items. That
he's into like horror stuff, and he likes to collect just weird stuff. It's not his own fault. He's curious, and he just doesn't have the knowledge for it.
I think everybody's at these days are curious, and there's more to believe than what you're seeing, and everybody has their own ways of expressing what they're looking for. We're all searching. I think we all feel like there's much more to much more going on to what we can see. And that's his way of just trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
But yeah, so he did get rid of that stuff, right?
Yeah. So we got there, and before we got there, I told him, all right, dude, you need to get rid of all that stuff. Like, just get rid of it completely. And
throw it away.
Yeah. Because we both got a bad feeling from it. You and I both. And
the different feeling in his room altogether, right?
Yeah. So he told me he threw it away, and he slept that night, and he said he slept better, not fully, back to normal. And Sean and I were going to go the following weekend. So I asked him a couple days later, how you feeling? He goes, well, I'm still waking up at 2:40 in the morning and still got this, that, and going on, and pressed, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, Sean and I just got to go down there.
Yeah. So walk into the house. So again, what was fun was the night before, right? We started talking, and we started. What do you call it when you put yourself in the location? So yeah, we talked about the cemetery. It
was almost like you were remote viewing.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was.
Right.
He said he felt something at this cemetery that was not even maybe 100, 200 feet away from his house.
Yeah, it's really close.
Well, it was funny. It was remote viewing it. I saw the cemetery. And it set me back a few years. It was probably late 60s. But it showed where there was some kind of ceremonial thing being done in this church, cemetery, and I saw black guardrail or the fencing. It was in period, concrete walking up to it. And then I saw the mountains all around it. So I was going into more detail on what I was seeing. We showed up, and that was exactly what we saw. Right.
Right.
Then I went into the apartment the day before, and I saw. Definitely, most apartments in Southern California, you walk in, it's the entryway's outside. But I didn't see that. I saw everything, the entryway being in like a hotel type of deal. And I felt like he was on the second floor. I felt it was multi-level. Cody wasn't sure, but he said second floor. I thought it was only 2. But there was 4, I believe.
Yeah.
And I did feel like there was more, but I felt he was on the second floor, and that was accurate. So going back to the day of, going into the house.
Yeah, going into the house, it was super, it was different. Like I said, Anthony's one of my good friends, and we went in there, and yeah, it definitely felt heavy, especially in his room. It was a completely different feel.
Complete different.
Yeah, I almost didn't even recognize what room I was in. That's how different it was. And it's funny, I walked in and I felt heavy. I was like, wow, this is really heavy. I looked at Sean, and Sean kept looking at the closet, right?
Yeah. And I felt like something was watching us.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to open the closet. I didn't say nothing. It was funny. I didn't say nothing, and then your buddy said...
Well, yeah, he said, well, I do have a voodoo doll in the closet. and Sean and I both looked at each other. We're all, Oh God.
It was funny. He pulled it out. And I was like, okay, that's the thing that was looking at us.
Yeah.
I looked at it, and it's again when I connect, it's really fluent on the message that needs to be said. So there was a lot of. I felt that he was going through a lot of life changes with relationships and dad, and I felt like whatever it was dragging him down, which gave him ugly perspective on life, right?
Well, touching that voodoo doll, that was...
I didn't want to touch it.
No, I touched it, and, I immediately grounded and did my protection, did all that, and I touched it, and I still felt like I was in mucky water, right? I was like, couldn't walk. It was very, very heavy.
Yeah.
And I set it down on the table, and I'm like, yeah, we got to take care of this.
Yeah, and again, like, being faithful in your beliefs... I know and knew that I was protected. I had nothing to worry about. Again, we always want to encourage everybody. Your faith is strong. Continue to just embrace that. It's really important for you to just embrace your belief system. So I encourage everybody to do that. So yeah, going back to the investigation, we picked up the doll, put it on the counter or on his end table,
right,
and proceeded to get ready after and had your buddy leave. And I felt as soon as I walked in the room, or actually in the apartment, I definitely felt a female presence, not bad, loved one for sure. I asked the gentleman, I don't know if he wants his name to be resolved, so we won't say his name, but I looked at a picture on the wall and I pointed it out. He said, "Who's that?" And because he had told a story about he'd lost some loved ones, and his mom and dad felt that loved one was still close to them, and it was still there at the location. So I was able to point out a picture, which was the individual that they felt was there, and I go, well, that person is there. Who is that person? And he confirmed that it was the person that he was telling about us earlier, that it was his great aunt.
His aunt.
Yeah, his aunt was still there, and just watching over the family, really. That's what I got. She spent a lot of time in mom and dad's room, but she was really just trying to protect. So no bad intention, but she was trying to protect them from what was going on in Cody's buddy's room. So that was a little unnerving. Well, not with her, because she was love. She was loving the family, making sure they were safe. So
no, definitely dealing with that the negative energy in his room was definitely unnerving.
Right.
So naturally, Sean and I started right there.
Yeah, and, of course.
Yeah, no, we were sitting, and surprisingly enough, there wasn't a lot of activity.
No, I captured when really looking at it, we had some, again, our orbs are really hard to say, okay, this is paranormal. But when they have when they change direction and they slow down and speed up, and
or go through you.
Yeah, go through you, come out the back and turn around and whatever. It's hard to disprove, or it's hard to not say that that's paranormal. Of course, we're skeptics, but again, we're looking at every aspect, and if we discard everything, then nothing's going on. And I know, and Cody knew,
something was there.
Something was there, and we. Again, we're not looking for a way to prove that, but we're not going to disprove everything to not prove that. So, if that makes sense. We in that room, there was some answers to the ghost box, but nothing really indefinite. We didn't.
Well, it was cool when we split up, and I think we split up twice.
We did.
So I sat in the room while you went out in the living room, and I was doing a little ghost box session, and I had my earbuds on like I always do. I was listening, and I was like, "Do you want Sean and us to leave? Like, what do you want?" And then you hear a whisper say, "Go away."
Yeah.
Or "Go away." And it was kind of elongated. And I'm like, "Wow, do you want us to go away?" And it was completely quiet after that. Nothing.
Yeah. Again, it wasn't saying anything. All of a sudden, says a few words, and then nothing again. Right.
Right.
So again, it's hard to disprove that. Okay, why all of a sudden it's not. It says something and it doesn't.
Exactly.
But we haven't gone through all of the material.
No.
And
that was just last weekend.
Yeah. So again, with the two of us, it takes a little bit of time for us to go over all of the data we've captured. But we did, because the ghost box is so fast, and we're listening at the same time. It's hard to capture that. So I did catch some things where we were answering or asking questions, and there was an answer. There was a time where it said "help me," and it was responding to there was some other things where we would ask a question and there'd be a response.
Right.
Which we do normally. That happens where it happens so fast we don't necessarily hear it at the investigation level, but once we go over and we're able to go through the video and look at it 3-4 times, we can go, wait a minute, you can hear that in the ghost box without messing with, trying to enhance anything. You could hear a clear answer to the question that we did add. So.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, when we go through evidence, Sean and I both, we don't like to enhance anything. So right. If we catch something and we have to enhance it, I won't even bother putting it up just because it's not authentic.
Maybe it's just for our own fun. We enhance it just to see if we can get anything out of it. But we don't want to create something. It's obvious. Like we had some video from your dad's work location. Again, that place was never investigated by anybody but us, which is
right.
great.
Right.
But there was definitely EVPs on the video. You could hear us talking and something in the background, but we couldn't tell what it said. But you could see it was. You could hear that it was a third voice.
Right.
And that's not disproving. That's not disproving. There's nothing there. It's a voice that's not ours.
Yeah, and a lot of times that happens too. You'll find on a lot of investigations there's a lot of undertone, or when you're just having a casual conversation, not even talking about ghost hunting, they'll like to chime in, right?
Yeah.
We've seen that all the time.
Yeah. And again, you going back to what we said earlier about vibration and a frequency, and so you've got this energy that's at a higher frequency trying to leave a voice imprint that we can understand. Well, again, they have to practice to try to make a clear voice as much as we try to communicate with them with our practices. So they may not come out clear, but they are trying to say something.
Right.
So again, I think as we continue to do what we're doing, we're just going to get better. Going back to the present.
Back to the. So we spent about, I don't know, a couple hours, 3-4 hours there, something like that. And so we wanted to do a clearing. For sure wanted to do a clearing for Anthony and just make it, make it as blissful as possible.
Yeah, and he didn't want to, again, the family requested that we didn't let their loved one pass.
Correct.
And going back, go ahead and as far as the sage thing.
Yeah, so, Sean and I, we use sage a lot. Sage, Palo Santo, and we bring in the blessing and the clearings. And so basically, for those of you who don't know, sage, when you bring in sage, like, you clear everything, good, bad, indifferent, the whole thing, it goes away. So they requested they didn't want their loved one to go away, so Sean and I had to kind of revamp our style. So
it was natural, really.
Yeah, it was divinely guided for sure. Yeah. I would hold space I use selenite sticks, which is a crystal. So I would hold the space
that we just got, right?
That we just got, yeah. And Sean would go into his prayer and his mantra, and we'd go to different portions of the house, and intent is huge, right? So we'd go in with intent. We'd bring in our Archangel Michael, which we do every time we go into any place, and we really try and cleanse the negative issue.
And I think so. One of the things that when we go to a clearing, we're both really open to whatever divine wants us to do, and what direction and how we need to cleanse the location. So when we go in and we're doing a clearing, we just open up, and I really feel like that's what happened here. I really, we just got into a nice zone, divinely guided, like Cody said, and whatever came to heart came. Even doing the ceremony was, you felt just enlightened, and you felt this beautiful, positive energy.
We felt it uplifting, right?
Yeah, like instant, bringing in beautiful divine light. And Archangel Michael, again, we've talked in other podcasts about, our main dude is Archangel Michael. We go out and have beers together. I'm just kidding. But, it's kind of like he's our go-to. And, I think that he knows that, and so you make sure he's there.
It just goes back to having that faith, right? You have to have that faith in something. No matter what it is, just hold on to that. But for those of you curious about the voodoo doll, I did tell Anthony we'll take care of it. So we actually grabbed it, and we took it with us, and we were going to bury it. And so there's a lot of different ways to take care of voodoo dolls. Again, Sean and I work with intent. I think it's the best,
divinely guided.
Yeah, the best type of clearing you can have.
Right.
Everybody will tell you there's all these different rituals and all these different practices, but really it's what sticks with you, right? And
it's called surrender. You know that like your intention is what is guided. It'll be exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
Like you said, we did bury it, but
what
we did when we buried it was what was important.
Yeah. So, but we didn't just bury it and say, "All right, we're done.
Goodbye.
Let's go home.
We'll see you later." Hey, squirrels, you might want to dig that up.
Yeah.
No,
we put it in the ground and we did a blessing over it.
Right.
And it was a really strong blessing. We actually brought in 2 archangels. We brought in Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael, and
we added Gaia. We added Mother Earth
as well.
Take on the negative energy as fertilizer and just bringing beauty from a negative thing, So it's kind of, again, at the end, it's always about love. It's always about beautiful divine light. It's all about, cleansing with the beautiful intent to clear.
Yep.
And, it's just, again, if your heart's pure and your intention is pure, what you need will become. It's just, that's the bottom line. If your intention's there, and you have that knowing that it's going to be taken care of, it's taken care of. It's that easy.
Well, that's the beautiful thing. So a couple days later, we call Anthony and ask how he's doing, and he's doing great. He's sleeping all the way through the night. He's not really depressed. He's happy when he wakes up, and that warms my heart, right? Because that means we're doing what we're meant to do.
We're in service.
Absolutely.
And didn't his dad said
he noticed a lifting in the house as well.
Awesome.
So there's no more heaviness and whatnot, and that's what it's all about, really.
And guys, we're having fun doing this. Like, it's scary. Oh my God, it's a voodoo doll. Yeah, that's scary, but the bottom line, Cody and I want to be at service, and that's exactly what we were. A family was in distress. And we want to help them so they can live comfortably and live a comfortable life. And our intention was to do that, and that's exactly what happened. Loved it.
Absolutely.
Fulfilling.
Well, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us on Friday. Let's go home and have a few beers and get some sleep, right? Make sure you follow us on all our social media. Instagram is going to be _new_reality11. Twitter is going to be @thenewreality with 2 Y's. And also follow and like our podcast.
Also, sports fans, our website will be open soon, so we'll let you guys know when that happens.
Perfect. See ya.
See you guys.